get the stream fired up. Oh, Dansikakyo. Kakyokutam scut. Now, wow. I have to check my. Mute that. I have to go watch my. I think we're streaming on TikTok again. Pretty sure. After some fuss with Restream. Yeah, it says I'm live, so that's cool. I don't think my, you know what I need though? I don't think my live comments come through on TikTok very well, so I might have to go grab Tisqua. I gotta go get a selfie stick. We'll be right back. Please stand by. Please stand by. Oops. Something else. Which is funny, because I only have 2 of those floating around somewhere, so I took and I put it somewhere. I bet it's in the truck. That's okay. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Dansakakyo, Pitagwe. How do I? Yeah. Oh, I guess I can set my. That's what I might do. I might prop my phone up over here so I can see if there's anybody. We're finally streaming on TikTok again. So if you're on TikTok, actually if you're on any of the platforms, drop me a comment, please, just to help me out. Let me know that everything's working. That would be greatly appreciated. Just gonna drop in. There we go. All right. I'm just gonna prop this up over here just so I can keep an eye on comments, because TikTok is fussy. TikTok is fussy. All right, we're gonna get back into this transcription tonight. Let's just double check that our audio is working okay. Just gonna turn that up on my phone just to make sure. All right, that seems to be okay. Okay. I'm just listening to that region and I'm like, I think I'm just hearing that wrong. Dante Giganto Paitsik, he's saying. I don't think that's actually an issue, that one. That's okay. So, we're about 32 minutes into this. And I think we're at the spot in the transcription where trying to think of where we were. I'm gonna go back about maybe 2 minutes and we'll just listen. Oh, you can't hear me very well, like when I'm speaking? Standing Horse says, can't hear you very well. My volume is up all the way. Oh, okay, yeah, Neil says it's okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back maybe about 2 minutes or so and just get caught up, re-caught up on some of the context of what's going on here. So we'll just play back maybe the last couple minutes and then we'll pick up where we left off.
Kipeä osamo siiko kegi nestoset kanstogi segaigoma kapn tehtap tohe misatemo egipne nan pepait iko ke nestoset magigi kostak
Just go ahead, I missed a spot there.
egipne nan pepait iko ke nestoset
Iegok e na nestoset, he says. He was sufficiently tired, I guess you'd say. Inanestoset.
egipne nan pepait iko ke nestoset
And Pepite, he'd been falling asleep. He was so tired, I guess you'd say. All right, let's keep going.
magigi kostak kikanagit kikapmayastesi nanto se peno sa tego chohe apot ki komskagu kispinpat maga onto ahtawa ho hika penakska tonto ahtawa.
Hey, that's that word I was telling you about, Neil, the other day. That's that word he uses for like scouts. Ontawatawak. Ontawatawak. I was probably mispronouncing it then, though.
Maga onto ahtawa ho hika penakska tonto ahtawa go ki peispaiwak.
There's an oki in there. I think.
Maga onto ahtawa ho hika penakska tonto ahtawa go ki peispaiwak.
Ohe. Kipe spaiwak.
He penakska atiko he kai ko I hont kap mai tigo seta. He kse sa ki tewak kiwe. Ko komu omi koa pim he tau te ntau astesinen taun pa, you know. Tenet tapskus o me nesto sino me snago si. So as ni nano ginnaga naga tohka nago gimsa te makka pe kiwe tahtsik. Yksi satapui, uja awan ga onto ahtawa ki pe kiwe tsahu go he me satemo.
Ohe. Misattemwa. Just fix that up.
Yksi satapui.
Fix that up over here.
Uja awan ga onto ahtawa ki pe kiwe tsahu go he me satemo. Nestom ta naoi wakin sto. Se gita kohta hatu tähän
32, brought back.
Ei kai koui hun. Ei kohte pia kieti kagisuskin ikitoma. Na moi viika ki ei toa no sai napeut ei kisiniwen ja se. Maka eta kohte te san mata puesa kapetepsk eikä kape kisegau. Ei kinpaat, se uskoa tsekiessä saa pohjaamet. Iko kettekö ei kiinnestoset. Mä saanakin tahto eiko he vaan panik he muanskaa teette papaa kamkset. En toa pen ketu huteema. Joktahan hikaakin skehtahtaan mä tahtoan hei pesuat, nestomta noin vaagnesto. Ei tsugu makaa kiitä kohta.
What's that?
Joktahan hikaakin skehtahtaan mä tahtoan hei pesuat, nestomta noin vaagnesto.
Oh, I'm not even hearing that. It sounded like he's saying Danmatatuan. Oh no, we did this last time too. One more time.
Joktahan hikaakin skehtahtaan mä tahtoan hei pesuat, nestomta noin vaagnesto.
Huh. I'm just gonna flag that one because I don't quite know. And then I'm going to see Wes on Wednesday, so I can ask him about that one. Is that what he says? That's kind of what it sounds like, isn't it?
Yoktahan hikagi skehtähtään matahtoan hei
Yeah, it is
pesuat
too, yeah.
nistom tanoi wagnisto.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. Okay, let me get rid of that because that's Danma tahto anhe. But I wonder if that's like Danma. Hold on a second here. Because Danma is like. But can you say tahto on its own? I guess you can, eh? Huh. Danma tahto. Wonder why that's a short A. This one seems like it's just not indexing for some reason. He knew how many he'd brought each of the ones. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, just saying hi real quick. Gotta go study. Okay, go study. Morphology, right on. Yeah, Yasin. All right, we're just about back to where we were.
Yoktahan hikagi skehtähtään matahtoan hei pesuat nistom tanoi wagnisto.
Yeah.
Ei tigo magagita kohtahat. Kiima maskata mogaisinoak. Awasasa. Apeitahkamkset.
It was a kid that did this.
Ego hugi chihta wagoge. Kagi sipehte kagi nohtepnt sahatava. Namo johtimskojo. Magagitahto wisto kapegiwe chigisa.
Maga, that's where we pick up today. Okay, so he said Maga.
Magagitahto wisto kapegiwe chigisa.
Esa wistoa, I think he says.
Magagitahto wisto kapegiwe chigisa.
Kapegiuitik.
Magagitahto wisto kapegiwe chigisa. Mtun namagi go yo chipehta wago magikano no kohta chik. Mtun namagi go yo chipehta wago magikano no kohta chik.
They didn't bring anything back.
Mtun namagi go yo chipehta wago magikano no kohta chik.
Oma, let me just get that last part there.
Magikano no kohta chik.
Oma.
Go magikano no kohta chik.
Kika no kota chik.
Go magikano no kohta chik. Go magikano no kohta chik.
No. Notin. Notin no kota chik. Neil, help me out. What's that one?
Go magikano no kohta chik.
Notin. No go tao. So it's just a stumble on the beginning. What does that word even mean? No go tao. No go tao. The ones that were exposed. Let me just listen to the whole thing. Is there another part in there, or was it just like a stumble?
Mtun namagi go yo chipehta wago magikano no kohta chik.
Yeah, okay. I think that's it, yeah. Some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community experience. I always say, if you're going to call me names, at least use the language. Or the ones that were seen. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I think so too. All right, onward and upward here.
Ki koi ki kapi kohta chiko mi te huisto aga gisin topai chik.
Kikwai kikagi.
Ki koe ki kapi kohta chiko mi te huistoa ka gisin topaijik.
I looked up this word, bikotatsik. I don't think I could find it. Bikotao, would you say that? There it is there. To accomplish it. Okay. I think I just didn't look it up correctly before. Bikotatsik. Huh, interesting. Okay. So the young boy brought stuff back, but the others didn't because they were seen. Okay. I think that makes sense. I'm glad that makes sense to you. I'm probably gonna back it up and like listen to it one more time, just to.
Ki koe ki kapi kohta chiko mi te huistoa ka gisin topaijik.
Wow. Where they went scouting or where they went raiding, I guess you'd say.
Ki koe ki kapi kohta chiko mi te huistoa ka gisin topaijik.
Geese Nantopaitzik. That's a reduplication there. Hey, Wapkihu. Dan Manantonia. CC Guanapo says, I think that's just a profile. Someone make a profile like that and goes on lives to get people to stop their lives. Seems weird. Yeah, seems weird. Mananto, we'll just keep going. All right, actually, I just want to go back and listen to this one more time. The whole thing together. As Ruben would say, all in one breath.
He wahu ki chihta wagoge, ka gi sipwehte, chik ka gi no te pintsa hata. Na mo yo jimsko yo.
Yeah, they didn't find anything.
Maga ki tahto wisto au ka pe giwe chigisa. Mtun namagi ko yo chipehta wago magi ka no kohta chik. Ki koe ki kapi kohta chiko mi te wisto ka gisin topaijik.
Interesting. I'm definitely in a spot with this one where it's like my brain, I think my brain understands what's going on. Like I know what he's saying. I'm just going to keep going anyway. A couple comments here. Miwasin Miyogi Sagansik. Aha, tapwe. Oh yeah, CC Glenat, the filtering comments. Yeah, we're gonna keep going here. I'm going back to Sweetgrass on Wednesday, so hopefully we'll have a few spots to chat with. Yeah, that makes sense. The ones who were spotted were unsuccessful in their raid. It was the Kigwe Giga Pikota Tsikuma. It's just like the phrasing of it. I just need to think about it. But that's okay. I'll come back to it. We'll just keep going.
Te pia ki pe o ai no kiwe chiko wa nan ma te pia ki pe kiwe. Te pia ki pe o ai no kiwe chiko wa nan ma te pia ki pe kiwe tachik.
Egipe Y no Kiwi Chick, he said. Kiwi Chick. There's my favorite word again. It doesn't seem to matter how many times I hear tepiak. I can never quite get it into my brain how to use it in context. At any rate. That's how I mostly remember it. At any rate. That section coincides with the previous one. Yep, I get that. That makes sense. Yeah. What they were able to find a way to free. So they just went back home. That makes sense. I think YNO, that's a long O, pretty sure. Oh, I wonder if it's a long A as well. YNO. So they just went back, is what you're saying. Oh, long A, short O. I wish that would stay. So it means just in that context. So they just went back, basically. Tepiak egipe wainogiuitik. There's more to that one.
Te piaki gipe o aino kiwe chike wa nan ma te piaki gipe kiwe tachik.
Eogo egipe wa.
Te piaki gipe o aino kiwe chike wa nan ma te piaki gipe kiwe tachik. Te piaki gipe o aino kiwe chike wa nan ma te piaki gipe kiwe tachik.
Tepiak. Nonge. E. Gi. Be. Giwe tahatik, I think he said.
Te piaki gipe o aino kiwe chike wa nan ma te piaki gipe kiwe tachik.
Giwe tatik. Tatik. Giwe tao, I think you... This is an interesting... Giwe tao? Yeah. Oh, there's an H in there. Giwe tao. That's... Ah, that's interesting. Take something home. This, would you call it like a final or something? Because you can say, what if you say, Pito Gwe Tatao? Can you say that? No. Pito Gwe Tatao? No. What about Ito De Ta? Ito Tatao? Yeah, okay, so that one makes sense. Bam Do Tatao. There's this ending is interesting. Like you can take a word like Giweo or Sipwe Tatao. I wonder if you could say Pita Gwe Tatao to bring something inside. It's interesting. Tisqua. Just in this context. Yeah, thanks for that. I was talking about this last week or maybe the week before. It's just like there's two words, Tepia and nice, though. Like just for whatever reason I can't get them into my head. School Mananto nia kimaga tanasigia. Miasane a Tagosinian. Neil says it's funny because the word just can have so many meanings. I know, right? And like, yeah. Or like for, just, yeah, there's so many words that we just use all the time, don't think about. But when it comes to learning another language, we talk about this so much, right? Like the phrasing of something or just like how much one word can change something. It's really... Marie says, that was all they were able to bring back home. Miasin. Pita guatao. So that's a little bit different yet. Oh, that's interesting. Pita guatao. That's interesting. Thank you for that. Yeah, miasin. Okay, let's do some more. This one, no, pretty sure I'm just gonna double check this. It is a short O. This might just have too many pieces for the spell checker to figure out what it is. Yeah, it just doesn't like the, if I take the wa out, no, doesn't even like that. There's just too many pieces in there, so I'll just flag it for the spell checker people to figure out. That's an indexing issue. Eogo anma, short A. Egipe giwe. That one should be, oh, that's a long I. Giwe tatik. Yeah. Yep, miasin. Okay, let's keep going.
Mage se gwam to no me giwe ko ke ko ma.
Mage sa I heard. E wiko.
Mage se gwam to no me giwe ko ke ko ma.
Mitune egwam was too fast.
Mage se gwam to no me giwe ko ke ko ma.
Mitune oma. They had a feast.
Age se ko to no me gi wi ko ke ko ma.
Ki Wiko Geek Uma. Not sure if I'm spelled it too. Yeah. So then they had a feast, I guess. Eh? He uses mittani. In this context, like mittani, I understand is like really, but it's like, can you use that to mean something else? Oh yeah. So this is another one of those ones where it's like actually has quite a few different, like, I guess it still means the same thing in this context, but they had quite the feast. Would you say it that way? They had quite the feast. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's actually grab this next little chunk here too. It means just. Oh yeah, lol. I don't see it in this list, Neil. I don't see it on this list. That's okay. Let's grab that next little chunk in there too.
Age se ko to no me gi wi ko ke ko ma. E ne ka mo.
And they sang, I guess, or they had a singing. Every word means just. It's like that one Facebook meme that went around a while ago. It's like, just say Uma. Just say Uma a lot. Yeah. All right, next chunk.
E ka gi se mo ko me na nas ko me to awa.
Gagisimu Uma.
E ka gi se mo ko me na nas ko me to awa.
And he was thanked, I guess. He was gratituded. I don't know, how would you interpret that? Egi nanaskomi. Uma, I think he said. That's one of those ones where Marie says, it so happened that a great feast was in the works. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. You know what's really interesting is, as learners, and I don't know, maybe Neil, this is different for you now, because I think when I first met Neil at a sweat north of out. I think Ruben was having a sweat or whatever, and I think you just put some videos on YouTube at that time, and I think you were already like about 4 or 6 or 7 years or something into this. So it's interesting. Even just, I was just hanging out with Neil recently, and it's interesting at the different levels how we understand things differently. But like Marie says here, it so happened that they had a great feast was in the works. Like, that's such an interesting way to interpret that. When, I guess, as learners, or just leave where I'm at right now, is like the simplest interpretation is still where I'm at. I'm like, okay, they feasted, they sang, there was prayers, but like all of those little bits, like if we listen to this one again.
Age se ko to no me gi wi ko ke ko ma. E ne ka mo.
Like the mitene uma, like those little bits add more meaning for a fluent speaker that I think us learners haven't quite picked up on yet. Like, I understand mitene, but it's like, I don't know, it takes time. It's interesting, the process of learning a language.
O skini ko. E go ko ma. Ka gi se ta.
Oh, no, we'll save that for the next one. What was that last word?
Ka gi o skini ko. E go ko ma. Ka gi se.
No, we'll save that for the next chunk. Grab that one here.
Ka gi se ta. Ka gi ta ka mik se to ma.
Oh, interesting. Kagi se gitse ta kamixit. Gi se ta kamixit. This is one of those ones where I don't think that's going to be in the. Hamas says, does it mean the same? It does. Yeah, I think it kind of. Are you talking about just, or are you talking about that other section that we were just talking about? Sorry, I'm a little behind. Oh, and I got some other comments here. These ones came in from Hey, Brenda from Facebook. Sorry I missed your comment a bit ago. I had it covered up. For those tuning in on Facebook, we're actually live streaming on Facebook. Where are we at tonight? TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I tried to get Twitch hooked up, but I had to upgrade Restream, and they wanted like $50 a month or something. I was like, man, that's a lot. So I'll come back to that. A sacred undertaking. Yeah, that makes sense. This, we were just talking about this word, or like this chunk, I guess. Because if you're in the dictionary, let me just bump this up here. If you're in the dictionary, you can, there's this word, itakamekisu, which is like to go about something, to be busy with something, I guess. But Wes sort of uses variations of that ending that are just like regularly. He regularly uses different variations of that ending. Let me bump that up a bit. Actually, let's go. That's fine. And this one was Gitse Tak Mixu, and I don't think, it'd be interesting to see if that pops up. Gitse, let me just hear it one more time. Gitse Tak Mixu. Gagitse Tak Mixituma. So I'm gonna have to flag that one because it's, I'm pretty sure we're spelling it right, but I think that's for the dictionary people. Kagitse Tak Mixtoma. The respectable deed that he'd done. Yeah, that makes sense. Marie says, a sacred undertaking. Interesting.
Igok.
Ipim Misigiwetahat. Isse. Sorry, I'm trying picking this apart. He just says it so quickly. Bese why no giwetahat. Why? I think that's what I'm hearing. Giwetahat. Uma misatem, I think he said. Oh, he. Misatem. As he proceeded with the sacred undertaking. Giwetahat. Yep. We're back in that spot again, though, where I think the spell checker's mad because there's too many pieces in there. You get a little too fluent and then it just... Is it Y&O it doesn't like? It might be Pim it doesn't like. Giwetahat. So that's correct. Can I put Pim? Isse. It doesn't like Y&O as a preverb is what's going on. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. So we'll just flag it. That's fine. It's a spell checker issue. Marie says, to the extent he brought home these horses. Yeah, okay. That makes sense to me. Yeah. I love this process when there's a few of us in here. We've got like other learners, we've got fluent speakers. It just makes this process so fun and interesting. Egte sanma. Meguanigamowit, it sounded like. Negamo. That's what I think I'm hearing.
Hekta he san me go nika mo to ke mawa ho he ka gin tom gut.
Neil says, can't handle the BIM. That's through space and time. If you look up this preverb BIM, we're constantly like, what does that mean? Sometimes just like it'll get used so much, and you look it up in the dictionary as like along in a linear progression, continuing through space and or time. It's like that's so unhelpful. It's yeah, through space and time, all right. All right, let's try this one again.
Hekta he san me go nika mo to ke mawa ho he ka gin tom gut.
O gimawa. Oh, here. What was that last word?
Hekta he san me go nika mo to ke mawa ho he ka gin tom gut.
Gagin Dumgut. Nitam Mikut. I don't know that word. That's what it sounds like. Dumgut.
Hekta he san me go nika mo to ke mawa ho he ka gin tom gut.
Nitameo. I don't know that word. Oh, invited him. Nitamgut. Nitamgut. It was there where the chiefs were singing who had invited him. Yeah. This form, though, am I hearing this right? Emegwa negamuit. Because can you say... I wonder if that's... Like, I've heard this a couple times. This particular, like, ending, I'll say, in this transcription, and it's not something I'm familiar with, so I always assume that I'm hearing it wrong. But it's like... The chiefs, too, were singing... If we go into Nigamo, Tisqua. If we go in there and we look at what the chiefs who were singing, I would expect that to be, oh, a Nigamuyit. That's what it is right there. A Nigamuyit. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Just the way he says it. Yeah, yeah. It was I was expecting Nigamuyit, but he says Nigamuit. It's a variation. That actually happens pretty regularly. For instance, I would pronounce this a Nanaskomoyan. Some people might say it that way. But the way I'll hear this sometimes actually sounds like a Nanaskomoan in some areas. It's just like a variation. So I think it's the same kind of thing. Whereas I was expecting a Nigamuyit. But what it sounded like he said was a Nigamuit, which again I think it's just a variation. It means the same thing. I think it's just a pronunciation. As learners, we the way we come at the language is typically through a class, a course, a book, or something, like when we learn like what I'll call like the grammar tables. The conjugation system, but then we start to realize like how regional variation comes into play, and how when you go to different places they can say things even though it means the same thing. It can be pronounced differently, it can sound differently, even the exact same word can be quite different sometimes. Anyway, that's all. It's a learner challenge.
Hastam. Peatsimustaunan.
Let's carve this block out here.
Tante ho megi papa mache ho in mina tante hoge he pe o tohta hachigoge. Tante ho megi papa mache ho in mina tante hoge he pe o tohta hachigoge.
Let me just shorten that up so I can just grab the first little chunk.
Tante ho megi papa mache ho in mina.
Atihoyin. It must be its own word. Papa matiho. Papa matihoyin. Slide that over.
Papa mache ho in mina tante hoge he pe o.
Tante oge. A little bit more.
Tante hoge he pe o tohta hachigoge.
He pe itota hotik. Is that what he said? Oge. One more time.
Tante hoge he pe o tohta hachigoge.
Tahatik oge. That's what it is. All right, let's listen to the whole thing just once over, end to end, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. School says, you're right. Marie, where you roamed, where did you bring them from? That makes sense. Ito tahatik. Ipe ito tahatik. Really interesting. It's so these particular words, like again, we were just talking about so what we were just talking about, like to bring something back, like giwe. So as a learner, we learned this word giwe, right? It's like that one goes home or something. So it's really useful to hear words like this. Giwe tatao. To so if this one was like that one goes home, and then would you say that one brings someone home or something home? What does the dictionary say? Takes something home. Something home. Right? So just that idea that this part here, but then we just saw that again. Well, I mean, in this particular case, can you say giwe taheo to bring somebody home specific? Yeah, okay, so there's another variation right there, which is even more specific yet, right? Giwe taheo. So that one brings someone home, I guess you'd say. Would you say that? But in all of these instances, it's got that one piece, so it's almost like we don't need to learn the whole word. And even in these two instances, like there's this piece in here that's even the same. The only thing that really changed was the ending, right? So if we can like get those little pieces sometimes, it's almost like we get a bunch of more words for free as learners just by like understanding, because this pattern will probably apply to more words, more ideas or concepts than just giwe. I have a good example right now. We'll explore that in a bit, but this word just made me think of that. Itotaheo. All right, let's grab the next chunk here. Isko says, I meant about the variations as you go to the different regions. You're right. Yep. Yeah. We're always reluctant as learners to say, this is the right way to, this is the way, whatever. Like, I think I learned this from Neil, actually. Now I just say, like, this is the way I hear it, or this is the way I heard it. And even sometimes, like, when I go here, I hear it this way. When I go there, I hear it this way. Because I don't want to rule out that there are still yet more variations that I haven't heard yet. Marie says, implies the horses are theirs. Were theirs. Interesting. That's interesting. And those implications are one of the hardest things to learn, I think. Right? Like, we talk about this a lot in language learning. We were talking about this on the weekend. We a lot of times we end up teaching words word lists, things like that, because even the grammar's hard, but the hardest thing, in my opinion, to learn as a learner, and I'm 7 years into this, is like the concepts or the phrasing. Like what you said, this is implying something specific. Learning those implications, like when you say it a certain way, it implies something. And intuitively, we understand this as we grow up within a language and we hear it all sorts of different ways and we learn and understand that nuance. But learning a second language, especially an indigenous language with sometimes a very different worldview, those implications can be really challenging to pick up, really challenging to learn. So I appreciate that input because that's meaningful. That's helps pack those pieces in. All right, let's keep going.
但是伊是比我他妈所以弄会个改变没是个为这个。
How were you able to do this for yourself? I guess he said. Danese e biko damaso. Is that what he said?
但是伊是比我他妈所以弄会个改变没是个为这个。
Biko damaso is what I'm hearing.
但是伊是比我他妈所以弄会个改变没是个为这个。
Oh, here.
但是伊是比我他妈所以弄会个改变没是个为这个。
Gape something. I'm just gonna grab that last chunk. We'll just go here. Probably zoom in a little bit.
改变没是个为这个。
Gape misagiwe giwe tigian.
会个改变没是个为这个。
Sounds like giwe. That's kind of what I'm hearing, but I don't know that word. How are you able to how are you able free for yourself this abundance you brought home? User 119 says, how did you manage to bring this amount of stuff home? Giuetsigeo, can you say that? That last word, I need to see if I can find it. What's that word?
Maybe
it's misse. Yeah, Missigiwe. Let's check Ben's site here and see if we can find. I don't think it's gonna. No. What if we do Giwe? No. Yeah, I don't know this word, so I'll just flag it. That's fine. Bihko Tamasoyan. And that one too, the way we found this before was Bigo Teo. No, Bigo Tao. Oh, there's an H there. Bigo Tao. This is another process that happens, which is really interesting. But if we want to say, if we want to add in that piece, which is like, that one accomplishes something, I guess you'd say. Okay, yeah, achieve something, accomplish something. But that long A, the sound changes. Oh, well, let me type that for some reason. Oh, crash bang. There we go. Come on, my computer's being fussy. But if we want to add this, there's this they call a morpheme. This means they call this the reflexive, something like that. It just means like to or on yourself, on to or for yourself, I guess you'd say. So, but if we want to add that in there, then this needs to change to dum, and then the implication, it would be tamoeo, so then it's going to be tamaso. That's just how that works, how the sound changes for whatever reason. Pico tamaso, because you wouldn't say pico, I don't think you would want to say like pico tasto, like wouldn't make sense, I guess. Yeah, reflexive. Back to yourself. Pico tamaso. Pico tamaso. But if we look it up, pico tam. Is that in there? Pico tamo. Oh, there it is too. So pico tamaso. So this definitely is a probably a. So no, it is in there. So I'm just spelling something wrong. Missing an H. Right there. There we go. Okay, that one's good. All right, so we'll just flag this one and we'll move on. That one, not just gonna leave it as is. All right, let's move on to the next one here.
Eksesekta kip nimi to. Eksesekta kip nimi to.
Ki mito.
Eksesekta kip nimi to.
I'm wondering if I'm hearing something else there at the end. But not what I was thinking. That's okay. Let's leave it like that for now.
Eksesekta kip nimi to.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure he's saying a wa at the end there.
Enkä musta mahto. Enkä musta mahto. Enkä musta mahto. Enkä musta mahto.
Gamustamato. Sounds like gamustamato.
Ei kaiku ui hun.
We hornet. Sang for. Yeah, just the particular inflection.
Enkä musta mahto.
Oh, I see. It would be like that. Like that. That makes sense. Yeah. Ingamostamato. That's also an indexing issue. So let me flag that.
Eksesekta kip nimi to.
And I wonder if this one's the same. Egi nimito. It sounds like though.
Eksesekta kip nimi to.
Yeah.
Enkä musta mahto.
I think that's right. He was sung for, Skoa says. So it was there he decided to dance, the one who was being sung for. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. That makes sense. As they sang for him, I guess you'd say. Oh, need to reload.
Eikö hei kis nimi to te se kaki atsi motoma.
Kis nimi tot.
Eikö hei kis nimi to te se kaki atsi motoma.
Atsumutuma. It's one of those ones where it's like, I know every word there, but I'm like, why did he say it that way? That's really interesting. And when he was done dancing, he told his story. And the only reason that puzzles me, like just a little bit, is that ga and ga-gi is one of those ones that's, again, very, like, it's difficult to learn how to use and understand those correctly as a second language learner. But that makes sense. I think that makes sense.
Speak ego ke gino te wiche wato he gi chihta wa magi ki maskatikot.
You know, we'd say what? I think he said.
Speak ego ke gino te wiche wato he gi chihta wa magi ki maskatikot.
He'd wanted to go with them. At that time, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Marie says it's past tense. Past tense relative to now, though, correct? It's past tense relative to now. Ogi chitawa. Ogi chitawa.
Speak ego ke gino te wiche wato he gi chihta wa magi ki maskatikot.
Maga e muscat. Good. It snuck. I got away from him, I guess. Muscate. Muscateo. Can you say that? Bimuscateo. But they got away from him. Egi.
Speak ego ke gino te wiche wato he gi chihta wa magi ki maskatikot.
It's no. Huh. They left him in secret, yeah. But is it the word Gemusketeo? Can you say that? Or is it just musketeo? Egi, it sounds like egi muskategut. Egi muskategut.
Speak ego ke gino te wiche wato he gi chihta wa magi ki maskatikot.
That's what it sounds like to me. Egigi muskategut, but that word doesn't. So we'll just flag it and move on. Okay. Moving on.
Ego namo yo chikaski tat ki ka ate mata po ki gamskat. Ego namo yo chikaski tat ki ka ate mata po ki gamskat.
Po. Kika miskoat, I think he said. At the mail. To catch up to them? Yep, catch up to them. Interesting. That's an interesting word. That's a really interesting, there's a few words that are interesting like that. Like atimapo, like to sit facing away. Atimoteo is to like walk away. Can you say atim think that's what that means. Atimoteo. Walk away. Atimpatao. Atimpayu. Atimpatao. Run away. Atimpayu. Run ahead. That's interesting. But atimeo is to catch up to somebody like sort of from behind, eh? That's interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah. User 119 says, didn't know how to catch up or find them.
Ego namo yo chigaski tat kika ate mata po kikamskat.
Yeah.
Magigip maya kami mot.
Egi bim akamemut. But he persisted through space and time. We have this conversation. Oh, no, Neil's still here. That makes it even funnier. Through space and time. Yeah. I heard Pim in there, but hold on.
Magigip maya kami mot.
Oh, it is I heard Pim in there. Egiaya Kameamut. He persevered.
Hipm papea gutom.
E Pim Papea Gutoma. He was alone through space and time. Oh, there's a big chunk here. Let's take the first bit, I guess. He did say Pim, didn't he?
Magigip maya kami mot.
He did, yeah. Pim. Egip my. It doesn't. That tripped me up so many times in this transcription because sometimes it's really obvious. It's funny that I heard Pim and you heard I. It's interesting. But I did hear that the first time. Gipm, egip maya kamemut.
Ego kaskteoes.
Egua. Oh, there's more to that. We're just gonna have to grab a big chunk out of here. Let's grab that much. Kasketeo, ayasit, something.
Ego kaskteoes.
No, we have to grab more than that.
Kaskteoesit na kisagagita ko teto me.
Kasketeo asitinak.
Kaskteoesit na kisagagita ko teto me.
Uma, pretty sure you said. Neil says, I heard both. I never miss a Pim. Yeah. User 119 says, Pim describes in motion. I think that's a good description, I think. But like, I've heard apmakusit, like, or there's other ones where like that I think that description fits most of the time, but there's been other situations, even in this transcription, where like that idea of like in motion doesn't quite fit. We could go find them. It's just one of those ones where it's so hard to just describe in one. That's why I think that the definition of the dictionary is probably so hilarious, is because it's just hard to describe. Continually through space and time, whatever that means. All right, let's grab another chunk here. Gagi wasagam skak. Let me just grab a little bit more and get the end of that. Manote nasoma. long O on Utinas, probably. Wasagamskag, that's what I heard. Is that right?
Te to mekta kagi mawasagami skak mano te nasoma.
Wasagamskag. Wasagamskau, would you say that? Wasagams. Oh, ace. No, that's. Neil says it's a funny concept. It does mean movement, but I've heard apimapit. Apimapit. So does the motion just like mean through? I mean, that's where it probably means like through time, I guess. But then I always wondered, like, does it connect multiple events together? Like if you use BIM many times in a telling, like in a context or something, does it connect those pieces together in that context? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Marie says, where the Blackfoot gathered, he had circled around. Wasagame. Is that the right? Wasagame Skag. Let's listen to the whole thing and maybe that'll help my brain figure out what I'm looking at here.
Kasktewaasit nahki sagagi tago te to mekta kagi mawasagami skak mano te nasoma.
There's a BIM in there I missed because never miss a chance to use BIM.
Kasktewaasit nahki sagagi tago te to mekta kagi mawasagami skak mano te nasoma.
Oh, there's an H there. It's wasagame scum. Yeah, to go around it. Okay, that makes sense. It was the ending that threw me off. It didn't click yet that it was, that was the word. Wasagam. Did I miss a long A? A skak. That's going to be a short A. There we go. Yep. Wasagame scum. There's another interesting wasagam, which is like a round. Can you say wasagamo teo? Probably, hey? Wasagamo teo. Nice. Walk around in a circle. Wasagam patao. Yep. Wasagame patao. Wonder why it's a wasagame. Wasagame patao. That's interesting. Interesting. Gagi. Yeah, where he had continually through space and time walked around. I gotta drop that. Is that the only definition for BIM? Oh, BIM. Along in a linear progression, while moving in a linear progression, continuing through space and or time. In my brain, it's like if you say PIM, it's almost like it's connecting those events together. That's sort of how I want to understand it, but I don't know if that's right. By the way, I love it when we do a long chunk like this and everything is blue. It's lovely. Makes me happy.
Hey, papanto apen get kigoek tahi takoni kigoe estate.
The Wapingate. I like this word. I keep forgetting to use it. The Wapingate. Spelling it wrong. Wapingate. Oh, I see. Huh. Interesting. Wapingate. That's super interesting.
Hey, papanto apen get kigoek tahi takoni kigoe estate. He papanto apen get kigoekta hei takoni kigo a steak.
What's that last bit?
Kigoekta hei takoni kigo a steak.
Kiguaya steak is the last one. But that, what was there? But what does he say in between there?
Kigoekta hei takoni kigo a steak.
Itapaniik. Itagoniak. Is that what you're hearing?
Kigoekta hei takoni kigo a steak. Kigoekta hei takoni kigo a steak.
I guess so. He's shifting in his chair too, so I think it's just interfering with sound. Itagun. What's there? Itaguniak. A steak. That's why that sounds like that. A steak.
Kigoekta hei takoni kigo a steak.
Yeah. Kiguaya steak. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Marie says, what was there, if anything was there? Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. What existed there, if anything was there, I guess.
Tan se se
I'll just grab some more of that. Here.
tan se se ei si tike ei tas tike to he.
Just leave that. A-I-S-C Sige Tick.
Tan se se ei si tike ei tas tike to he.
A-I-S-T-G-Yik. Oh, hey, that's what I'm hearing. Isitsigi. One more time.
Tan se se ei si tike ei tas tike to he.
Istigate. Istigate. Astigio. I don't know that word. Huh. I don't know that one. Isitsigio. This should be correct. I don't know why. That's not spell checking. He was checking out what they all had there. What they were isitsigioing. Oh, it's a long I. Isitsigi-tik. The happenings. It's a multifaceted word too, eh? Isitsigio. What doings, proceedings, happenings, activities they were involved in. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I'm hearing that second word right, correct? Yeah.
Tan se se ei si tike ei tas tike to he.
Itastigate. Itastigate. Itastigio. It sounds like it's Itasteo. Okay, yeah, Itasteo. I'm just spelling it wrong.
Tan se se ei si tike ei tas tike to he.
Itaste. But he says Itastigate. I'm gonna flag that one. I'll ask Wes when I go see him. I just don't know that word. Itastigate. How they were set up. It sounds like Itasteo, but Itastig. Itastege. Itastege. Wonder if he means that.
Tan siis ei siis tiki ei tastege itohi.
Yeah, I'll just leave it for now. It's fine. Next chunk. Oop, that's
Kas
enough.
te vajasita?
We don't need the burp in there. We'll take that out. I think this was just after lunch. Kas teo aisata. Kas teo aisata.
Eikö kiatsi muun higagin tomskaate teim satimo?
Kiatsumo.
Eikö kiatsi muun higagin tomskaate teim satimo?
Ginto miskoat. Misattemua.
Eikö kiatsi muun higagin tomskaate teim satimo?
Ite misattemua. Neil says, astigate. Let me go back there.
Tan siis ei siis tiki ei tastege itohi.
Itastigate. Let me check that. Itastigate. Itastigio. There it is. Aitasco. What's a whole word? Aitastigio. Is that it? No. That can't be it. Put things on firmly. Huh. I don't think they're set up. Yeah, that's like how things were set up. That's what Marie said. How they set things up. It feels related to that other word when he was talking about earlier, where he recognized that the teepee poles, or the way the teepees were set up, that they were not, like this wasn't a Cree camp, right? That it was a Blackfoot camp. But it feels like it's similar to that, maybe. That's okay. We'll come back to that one later. It's fine. Let's just keep going.
Minä ei pidä koteessa naapeu.
Good.
Eikö ei nakato eikä noin matoihin satimo.
Nagatokit.
Eikö ei nakato eikä noin matoihin satimo.
Ganaway. Ohimstattamwa.
Eikö ei nakato eikä noin matoihin satimo.
Yeah, those horses. That one Mina wai peogut isanapeo, that Blackfoot he's talking about, right? Egutta, he was Nagato gate, like to pay attention to it, I guess. Taking care of those horses, I guess. Next chunk.
Eikö kiatsi moteessa eikä
Let's grab a little bit more.
Eikö kiatsi moteessa eikä papiohot.
Eikö
Eikö kiatsi moteessa eikä papiohot.
Higgy Puppy what? He waited? He had waited there?
Ja kiatsi kapeikisek.
Copy. If that's one word, Kapegisik, or is it just two words? Kapegisik. Watched over and protected the horses, Marie says. It was there he told the story where he had waited. Yep, that makes sense. He waited for a while. Papehut. But then why didn't he use Pim? Maybe that's relevant. Maybe it's relevant that he didn't use Pim. Maybe it's relevant that he didn't use Pim because it's something that happened in the past, and it's not happening where the story currently is happening. He's telling the story. Could you say epimatsamut? Would that connect the telling to? Would that connect to the idea that that's happening for him right now in the story? We'll figure this out. What Neil says, because it wasn't space and time. Thanks for that, Neil. That's good. That helps. That's helpful. Intermediate problems. Intermediate problems. Okay, next one. Let's see, start with maga. Let me back that starting up. There's a little bit of something there. Oh, Marie commented on my. Marie says no. So my theory is incorrect. My theory doesn't make sense. What is this first word here? Ange? Holy, let me back that up. Let me go back here. Maga? Maga, maybe. But it was, Marie says, but it was only when it got dark that he pursued. I'm just trying to figure out what that first word is. Something at the Otago Siniak Esa Siniak. Is it Maga? I think he's saying Maga. Yeah, I think you're right, Neil. Maganihi. 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 Gapm. But it was only when. So is that a different word, Marie? Or do we have it right? Is it because that's what I'm hearing, Maganihi. Natsiustigate. Anihi. Natsiustigate gagi. Bim natsiustigate. One more time. Uma. Conceptually. Marie says conceptually. What is the word, though? What is the Cree word that he's saying? This reminds me of that other one. Hey, Ray.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you fill that for me?
Yeah.
There was another word where he says, ntoge. Ntoge. And we really struggled on this a couple of weeks ago on the live stream. And it turned out to be this word. Natoge. I think there's an H in there. Natoge. Natoga. Nope, I gotta go find it now. Nitoge. No. Anyway, it was that word that meant if it hadn't been for his grandma Ntoge or something like that, I did find it eventually. Anyway, so Marie is saying conceptually.
Angania tu taksenigis. Angania tu taksenigis. Angania tu.
Like as a word, it sounds like angania or something.
Angania tu taksenigis. Agagi machip na chius chigetoma.
Huh. I'm gonna flag that because I don't think we're hearing that right. Anya. I wonder if that's. Yeah, and it just might be another one of those really. It's entirely possible. But is he saying maga at the beginning?
Angania tu taksenigis.
Magania. Change that one too. Oh, no, let me can this. It's going to cause an issue. Maga. Interesting. Naziostegate.
Angania tu taksenigis. Agagi machip na chius chigetoma.
Hold on, let me just do that last bit because now I'm hearing this word wrong.
Agimachip na chius chigetoma.
Naziostegate. Matipim, Nazius. To creep up on them. Niag is what. Niag. No, I don't know that one either. Let me find this other. We'll come back to that one. That's fine. Get those words every once in a while. It'll just trip us up for a while. Nazi used to go. There it is. Nazi used to gate. Nazi long O. Nazi used to gate. There it is. Yeah. We'll just come back to that other one. Niag beforehand. Oh, and that is what Gop. Oh yeah, thank you. Beforehand. Is that what that means? Niag? I'll just do it one more time.
Angania tu taksenigis. Agagi machip na chius chigetoma.
Yeah, I just can't make it out. I'll leave a note in there. I'll just leave it like that. Okay, we'll just keep going. We're going to go for a little bit more.
Epim na chius toatohe.
He snuck up on him. So yeah, no, that totally negates my theory about Bim, because this is obviously in the past relative to the point in time of this story. It's like, why did he use Bim there and not in the other one? It's totally... We'll get it one day. Okay. Whoops. Jump back into my... Maganiyagi Tagusiniak. Oh, is that what you're saying? Let me listen to it one more time. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Angania tu taksen ige sagagi machip na chius chigeto. Angania tu taksen ige sagagi machip na chius chigeto.
I'm not hearing it. I'm just not hearing it. Okay. I will ask Wes in a couple days, and then either you'll be right. Well, you'll probably be right. That's all there is to it. That's fine. Beforehand, he waited till Sunday before he pursued them. Before he pursued them secretly.
Okanawe chige wahom.
Okay.
Okanawe chige wahom.
Kano witsag.
Okanawe chige wahom.
Kanawe chigewa uma. Would you say that's like the ones that are being kept? These Kanawe chige. Can you say that? Kanawe chige. Oh, the keepers. I see. Oh, that'd be keeper. Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okanawe chige wahom.
The dictionary still doesn't like that word. That's fine. I'll flag it. It's fine. The keeper. Neil says, let's put 20 on it. Oh, man. I'm going to go broke if we start doing that.
Ego hete gwem to neginto sa sigo chuhat.
Hit the gray. Eginto. Am I hearing that right? Something's juice.
Ego hete gwem to neginto sa sigo chuhat.
Sisigo chuahat. Sisigo chuahat is what I'm hearing. Sisigo chuahat.
Ego hete gwem to neginto sa sigo chuhat.
Sigo chuahat. What word is that? Sigo. Let's see what that. No. Sigo. Huh. It's not even in there. Sigo chuahat. And so it happened, Marie says, it so happened he caught them by surprise. Sisigo chuaheo. There it is. Sisigo chua. Yeah, so we found this one before. Sisigo, that's why. Sisigo chuahat, I think it was. Sisigo chuahat. Nice. Thank you. Mitene ginto sisigo chuahat. And apparently he really caught them by surprise. Those keepers.
Kinuten toak. Kisago cheheukin pahewan.
Sago tseheo, is that to overtake? Sago tseheo, I think that was defeats. Defeats. Long O. Kinipaheo. Oh, that's long O. Kinipaheo. Anehe. I think that's.
Kinuten toak. Kisago cheheukin pahewan.
Neil says lots of good words. I know, right? Lots of good words. One of the things that I really appreciate when Wes tells stories, like he almost never like even every once in a while you could see he wants to like make a word, and he'll take a run at it a couple times, and then he'll like maybe just change the word a bit, but he doesn't. He like almost never switches to English, which is like really quite amazing. Because I was talking about this the other day, where it's like I've heard some of these stories in English, and then I've asked him like, can we get this story in the language? Because I'm like, how there were things in that story that you said in English. I'm like, how would you even say that in the language? So there's so much in there that's really great. This looks like a cough or a grunt. I'll just leave that one out.
He koho me gisa kam ksito mai ta gagiache mo.
Gisa kamksit is what I'm hearing.
He koho me gisa kam ksito mai ta gagiache mo. He koho me gisa kam ksito mai ta gagiache mo.
He finished the telling of his story, I guess you'd say. Gisa kamksit. Is that what that means? He completes it, yeah. Marie, they fought, defeated them, killing them. Yeah, right on. After he was done, he told his story.
He kisine pahaga wagaskte oyaset ka kikanoi mato himsatema. He kisine pahaga wagaskte oyaset ka kikanoi mato himsatema.
Oh, I see. They fought. He defeated him. He killed that Blackfoot.
He kisine pahaga wagaskte oyaset ka kikanoi mato himsatema.
Gaskit deoi asit kakanowemat misatimwa. If I got everything.
He kisine pahaga wagaskte oyaset ka kikanoi mato himsatema.
Gagikanowemat. I killed that Blackfoot that was looking after those horses, I guess.
Maskosia ho hingio.
Just drag that one out.
Maskosia ho hingio. Nigi paskop tenoche.
Oh, is that coming through? Hold on. Is that coming through on the audio on both of them? 1 second.
Maskosia ho hingio. Nigi paskop tenoche.
I got a comment here that says, your voice is on repeat, just in case you didn't know. That might just be for you, Carmen, if you're just catching up on the stream. I've had a couple people pop in earlier, too, saying that I was hard to hear or something like that. So I think it's only affecting some users for some reason. The live stream, sometimes when the live stream is catching up, it can play the same chunk a few times. Marie says, after I killed the Blackfoot who was watching over the horses. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, just hang out. I've got a, let me just check my stream settings here. I'll just double check on my end. Because I've got some proper internet. Yeah, I'm streaming at about 25 megabits, so it should be pretty good. I've got a good setup tonight. Yep. Maskosio he.
Maskosia ho hingio. Nigi paskop tenoche.
Nigi o. Nigi paskopitein. Oh he. I think you said at the end there.
Maskosia ho hingio. Nigi paskop tenoche.
Ootse. Short O. Ootse. paskuptam. Pluck or weed. Interesting. Man, how would you even... You'd have to really be listening to hear the difference between paskuptam and paskuptam. Because those are going to sound very similar, are they not? Yeah, interesting. And the meaning seems like it's very similar also. Ooh, we'll just add a little bit more because there's something else at the end of this.
Maskusia ho hingio nigi paskupte no che aski.
A skeek from the earth. It's a short eye. Okay. Next chunk here.
E wan ma he gia pachita no he maskusia he kana chita ya no ma ne mo koma.
Now we're getting to the... it's such a cool story.
E wan ma he gia pachita no he maskusia he kana chita ya no ma ne mo koma.
Oh, himascosia. Whoops. Oh, there's that little thing you were talking about there, Neil. Oh, see, now I'm having the issue. Interesting. Let me just refresh the page here. We are in beta, so we're working on some of these. Himascosia.
E wan ma he gia pachita no he maskusia he kana chita ya no ma ne mo koma.
Ekanachitayan. Oma Nemokoman, is that what he said? I think it was that. One more time. I know there's a gi.
E wan ma he gia pachita no he maskusia he kana chita ya no ma ne mo koma.
Gana, is it long A? Yeah. And I use that grass to clean my knife, I guess.
Ka kiomi ko hekto se pa kwama.
Miko.
Ka kiomi ko hekto se pa kwama.
Otsipa Kwahaman. Would you like to wipe it off? We've looked up this word before, pretty sure. Ba Guahaman. No? That I wiped. Ba Guaham. Yeah. Yeah. Ba Guaham. It's a long A. Yeah, it is. Ba Guaham.
Ka kiomi ko hekto se pa kwama.
And I used it to wipe off my knife, I guess. Hey, we're cooking here. We've just about covered 4 minutes of this story tonight.
E wa ko ne mo koma ne gia suatan ma ga.
Suat.
E wa ko ne mo koma ne gia suatan ma ga.
Suatan. Asuatao. Maga.
Higi mamam tu ne taman ki spin kautta kohti anoma.
Hegi mamam teneta.
Higi mamam tu ne taman ki spin kautta kohti anoma.
Goi. Siitä kohtia ner.
Hegi mamam tu nehtaman ki spin kautta kohtia noma.
Kohtia ne uma. What's another? Mamtanetam is like to contemplate something, think about or contemplate, I guess. But in this context, he worried about it. He worried that if he came back, this is really the brunt of the story right here.
Nehiana. Kanohtek skehta magaisino. Tantegi tohteen tansegi takamksi.
Nehianak, is it like that? Come back to that.
Nehiana. Kanohtek skehta magaisino. Tantegi tohteen tansegi takamksi.
You're going to want to know, where did you go? Dante egi totian. Dante takamixian, I think he said.
Nehiana. Kanohtek skehta magaisino. Tantegi tohteen tansegi takamksi.
And Giskitamwak. Oh, it's because of that. I see, no, he said. Nehianak. See if I can find the right spelling for that. Oh, it's a long A, that's why. When I get back to Nehio country, the camp, I guess you'd say, they're going to want to know, people are going to want to know, where have you been? What have you been up to, I guess you would say.
Expi kispinekse hai spaige. Expi kispinekse hai spaige.
Spin egose Gispeige. I think that's what he says.
Expi kispinekse hai spaige.
I speige. I not gi. I speige. If that's what happened, then it's kind of how I understand that.
Nika ya chemostoa okoma.
Atimo.
Nika ya chemostoa okoma.
Atimosto. Wow, Wak, I think he says. Oma. I'll tell them the story, I guess. If that event happens. Oh, yeah, I see. Eggs, spiggy, spin, eggs, yeah, spiggy. Oh, when I get back. He's still talking about when he gets back, yeah. If that happens, he'll. I'll tell him the story.
Nika ya chemostoa okoma.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kagi pe tohte anete.
Pe tohte. Did he say ite or nete? It sounded like ite.
Kagi pe tohte anete.
Yeah, ite.
Mina taneke egi pnos ano gogi chihta ak magana moya oche atemagi na moya oche mskagi.
Let's make that a little bit smaller. He's sort of repeating some of the stuff.
Mina taneke egi pnos ano gogi
Egi no was. No, like he's talking about chasing them, right?
Mina taneke egi pnos ano gogi
Egi Nawasun no yan. Nawasun no. Nawasun no yan. No. Huh. Let me listen to the rest of that here. One more time.
Mina taneki, hegi no sveano gugi chihta wak maga na moya ochi atemagik na moya ochi mskagi.
Nawasoyan. Hold on, let me listen to it again.
Mina taneki, hegi no sveano gugi chihta wak maga na moya ochi atemagik na moya ochi mskagi.
Miskowagik.
Mina taneki, hegi no sveano gugi chihta wak maga na moya ochi atemagik na moya ochi mskagi.
Miskowagik. Cooked. Oh, chase them, yeah. Nawaswateo. Nawaswateo is the word I understand for chase. Nawasoyan. Is that what he's saying? Nawaso. Can you just say that? Nawaso. Not pam nawaso. Nawasoyan is what it sounds like. Nawasoyan. Stetsi says, how do you say be quiet? Would you say kumwatape? Be still, I guess. Kagito. Stop making noise. Kagito. I don't know. Marie might have a good way to say that. Be quiet. Yeah. Yeah, shh. Like this. Kiamape. In the new squirrel says, Granny says kiamape. Kiamape, yeah. That makes sense. Hi, Granny. Yeah. Get the tamianan. Nanaskumnan. Let's listen to this one more time.
Mina taneki, hegi no sveano gugi chihta wak maga na moya ochi atemagik na moya ochi mskagi.
I'm gonna just flag that one. We'll come back to it. Give me something to work with Wes on when I get there.
Kagintom skamane te hogi kaskte oese tage e wiktsik.
Misko.
Kagintom skamane te hogi kaskte oese tage e wiktsik.
Where they lived, where the Blackfeet lived. Let me just get that last part.
Kagintom skamane te hogi kaskte oese tage e wiktsik.
Gasket. Sitak. Kagi Wigichik, is that what he said? I think that's what he said.
Kagintom skamane te hogi kaskte oese tage e wiktsik.
E Wigichik. Where those Blackfeet were camped, where they lived. Nawasoyan. Yeah, I just can't find. Let me look in Ben's app here. Nawasona. Choose. Chase. Nawas. I wonder if it's this one here. Nawasweo. It's probably this one. Nawas. That's it right there. Nawaswean. That's why I couldn't find it. It's Nawaswean.
Mina taneki, egi no sveano gugi chihta wak magana moya o chia temagi.
I just didn't know the word. I just didn't know the word. Nawaswean. Yeah. Yeah, sin. Holy cow, we're just about 37. We've just done just about 5 minutes tonight. That's pretty good because we've only been at this for 2 hours. That means usually it's something I wanted to keep track of.
Ego hekta gagi utne magan hute mo. Ego hekta gagi utne magan hute mo.
Utenagik.
Ego hekta gagi utne magan hute mo.
Sounds like utenimak. Gagi. Uten. Yeah. Wouldn't it be Otinagik, Oteneo? But it sounds like he says Otin. Might be just
Ego hekta gagi utne magan hute mo.
Otinimak is what it sounds like. But I think he meant Otinagik. Otinimak. Because I don't think Otinimeo is a word, is it? Otineo. Oh, Otin. Oh, interesting. Is that really? Otinimuk. Can you say that? Oh, I see. Took that other one's horses. Wow, yeah. This is super interesting. Because I don't think I've ever heard this used. I took their horses. Wow. I've never used this, so hold on, I'll come back to this.
Ego hekta gagi utne magan hute mo.
Ute muawa. That's so interesting. Yeah. So it's this is the form. If I take those ones, it would be a otemak. That would be me taking that one. If I take those ones, otemagik, that would be me taking those ones. This one, otenak, not otemak, otenak, otenagik, otenimak, that's me taking those other ones. It's the possessive. I've never heard this before. I've never heard anyone actually say this before. I think I've read it somewhere, but I've never encountered anyone using that form. That is so cool. That is so cool. And if I did, I probably just didn't know what it was. Utinimak. Ego tagagi utinimak anihe utemuawa. That's so interesting. So basically, if we drill into this chart, it's this one here. Eotinimak. And there's another way to say that too, but I've never heard this one either. Yeah, that's super cool. Let's do a tiny bit more, and then I'm starting to get to we're hitting the 8:30 mark here and starting to get a little tired.
Ego higo ke gi mekskate tami koyan ki spin mostinta o.
That's a big word, holy.
Ego higo ke gi mekskate tami koyan ki spin mostinta o.
Demikoyan, that's what I'm hearing in that. Mixkate Tamikoyan.
Ego higo ke gi mekskate tami koyan ki spin mostinta o. Ego higo ke gi mekskate tami koyan ki spin mostinta o.
Ki spin. What's that last word?
Ki spin mostinta o.
Mustinitawao. I don't know that word either. Let's start with one. Meguskate Damikoyan. Pretty sure that's what that is. Meguskatetam. Let's see if we can start with Miguskatetam. See if we can find that. If they exposed me. Miguskatetam. This, so it's this one here. Meguskatetamiheu. Miguskatetamihikuyan. That would be the inverse. This one, no. Ikoyan. Ikoyan. No, it would be it exposed me. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Is that even on there? Iko. Yeah, it's not going to be in that particular form. So that one's not going to, it's that word, but this is totally an indexing issue. What is this last word? I'm just going to listen to the whole thing one more time.
Ego higo ke gi mekskate tami koyan ki spin mostinta o.
Mustin. Mustin. No, I don't know that word either. It's not aw. Mustin. Kispin mustin. Mustin.
Ego higo ke gi mekskate tami koyan ki spin mostinta o.
Must. Mustin. If they caught me in the act. Interesting. But he was worried. It sounds like he's saying he was kind of like terrified that he would get caught in the act. Is that? Yeah, okay. Out in the open. Yeah. Just trying to find the word. Mustin. So I think it's going to be this one here. Mustineo, I think is the root. catch him in the act. This one here. Let me listen to it one more time.
Ego higo ke gi mekska te tami ko yan ki spin mostinta o.
I just don't know the form. I'm just going to flag it and come back to it. Not 100% certain on that one. Let's try a couple more.
Miskota o.
Oh, I see. He's looking for the word. Misko.
Ki spine miskago yan.
If I'm found. He's spinning Miskagoyan. This was just false starts, this one.
Miskota o.
Makes me wonder, like, which word was he reaching for? Miskotao. That's, sorry, academic exercise. I don't need to put you through that. I'll just put those in there. Gispin Miskagoyan.
Eksana, nika gisi wagui. Eksana, nika gisi wagui.
Gisagwagoge.
Eksana, nika gisi wagui.
Gisi Guakoge. Giseheo, what does that mean? Finish them. My heart was beating in my head, Marie says. That makes sense. That makes sense. No, I get what he's saying. The translation is like we just go back. Gaginto miskaman teoge oge gasketeo astak e wigitsek egwegurta gagi utnamwak anehe utemuawa utinamak anehe utemuawa ego egok e meguskate tami mehigoyan meguskate tamigoyan meguskate tamiegoyan kispin. What was that word? Yeah, so he was searching for a word there, which is cool. She was trying to say, like, if I was caught, like you said, caught in the act. Gispin miskagoyan. Super cool. Oh, I learned lots tonight. I think I'm gonna shut it down there. That's pretty good though. So we started at just over 32 minutes. We're at 37 minutes, so we actually have only about 20 minutes left in this particular story. Not to worry. I have hours and hours and hours of recordings to transcribe. We'll be doing this for a while. This is just like the first story. We've got so much to transcribe. But so collectively we're doing about, so we did about 5 minutes today, just about 5 minutes in about 2.5. So we're doing about 30 minutes per minute is it. So that's, so we're technically transcribing about twice as fast as I used to. It's pretty good. It's pretty good actually. And I mean, in like, you know, live streaming and discussing, chatting, all of that kind of stuff. So Carmen says, every time I see your feed, I enjoy listening along to this. Pick up a word or two. That's awesome. So this is definitely a bit of an intermediate exercise, but this is how, so to your point, Carmen, this is exactly why we do this. Because I myself am just an intermediate learner, and this is about just picking up language, discovering new words, figuring stuff out. That's basically the whole reason we're doing here. So I'm glad to hear that. I appreciate that feedback, that this is helpful to you. This is way more fun They laughed. I presented on this program and our platform at a conference recently in Winnipeg, the 57th Algonquian Conference, and the program coordinator and lead linguist at the M&A, Ruth Hassett, was there, and she was telling me that she every time she says to somebody, because in linguistics or whatever, when you're doing this, it sounds presumably everybody hates transcribing, but she was saying that she tells this joke every time, and she gets a laugh every time of how I'd said something to the effect of, "Why would you want to make transcribing faster?" And I mean, I want to transcribe faster, but we intentionally do this process because it gives us language, right? And then when we do this multiplayer, I call it, which is what we're doing exactly right now, we have Marie Smallboy here, we had Neil Redcrow here, every once in a while different learners and different fluent speakers. We had a couple other folks here I don't know other than user 119, which is fine. We have folks pop in and we work on these together, and that takes something that is challenging and hard and something that's not super fun and makes it a lot more fun to do. Again, I call it multiplayer transcribing. So this is pretty fun because we get to have those conversations around specific words, right? Or like really, like I'm not going to remember this word necessarily. But the more you hear something, the more it sticks in there. And so yeah, we get to find a lot of interesting language this way, and unlock a really cool story. And this is a really powerful way as an intermediate learner to get lots of language. Carmen says, and this is stuff where you find people who are willing to be here as well. Absolutely. That's the best part. Everybody that's hanging out right now, honestly, is, you know what, and every time I do this, I try to go every Sunday. I missed last Sunday because I was on a plane. Next Sunday, I will be in Sweetgrass, so I might be able to live stream from there. We'll see how that goes. Might be a short stream. We'll see. Might do something with Wes if he's up for it. Yeah, we'll chat with Wes and see. But yeah, a lot of the same people come back every time, which is amazing. Which is super amazing. So yeah, we're gonna shut it down there tonight. I've had a really busy week. Maga, I mitane get the tummy hina. Wow, I'm really gonna ask him tina. Wow, I mean, I'm super grateful for everybody that came out tonight and hung out while we powered through some more of this story. Probably, yeah, maybe 4 more live streams and we'll be done this story. We've got about just over 20 minutes left, so, and a lot of the vocabulary we've encountered quite a bit. So when you run into a lot of the same words over and over and over again, it makes the transcribing go pretty fast. Yeah, so I'm super grateful for everybody that came out. I kakio kitamskat na wow kana naskunta na wow kakio gape wita pemi kape I wita to skemiek oma transcription oma. Marie says nista kana naskuntin asai kagi yeah tapwe. Yeah, the Gagi mitan tapwe anihiasani. Miasin ni miwete ne a miwemat. I'll say that. All right, everybody, have a good night tonight, and kista wow miu gua mik miu tipskansik. I'll probably just do a short live stream next week. Probably, because I'll be away from the house, and then the following week with any luck, I'll be home. So anyway, and if you're going to be in, not next week, but the week after, I will be in Saskatoon for Language Keepers. So if you're going to be there for that, I'll see you then. Okay, mio tipiskansik, muestas.